Hello and welcome to NTA's live telecast of proceedings from the National Assembly. And we're reaching you live from the House of Representatives, where Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu is already seated and presiding over plenary for the day. The House has continued to deliberate on motions and bills that will lead to economic growth and the socio-economic well-being of Nigerians. Yesterday on the floor of the House, we saw the House pass through second reading a bill for an act to establish the National Tax Crimes Commission. And the aim of that commission is to address revenue leakages in tax administration in the country. The proposed commission is expected to checkmate irregularities in the assessment, reporting and remittances of tax, with a view to addressing or curbing under remittance or non-remittance of taxes in the country. Yesterday we also saw the House adopting a motion to set up an ad hoc committee that will look into the modalities for coming up with a new living wage for workers. Yesterday on the floor of the House, Deputy Minority Leader Aliyu Sani Madaki led the debate, where he argued that as it stands at the moment, according to him, less than 100,000 naira will not be enough for living wage for workers. And the House went on to constitute an ad hoc committee that will interface with all the relevant agencies of government to come up with a new living wage for workers. So at the moment, the House is already entertaining matters of urgent public importance from lawmakers, and we'll just take you right into the hallowed chamber for plenary proceedings for the day. Thank you.
And capital costs appropriated to the various ministries, departments, and agencies. The House is cognizant of the market fluctuations. It becomes imperative for the National Assembly to review amendments to all the items that make up the 2024 Appropriation Act, NTA/FSP, External Borrowing Plan, FX Market, and role of bureaucracy in budget implementation. The House resolves to mandate the committees on national budgets, national planning and economic development, appropriation, and the Committee on Finance to carry out one comprehensive assessment of the implications of the Forex on the 2024 Appropriation Act and determine the method of alignment of the current Forex with the approval of the National Assembly, and also to evaluate the prevailing exchange rates to understand the value of the Forex in the local currency and how fluctuations impact the purchasing power and overall 2024 budgetary effectiveness. 3, examine the expected revenue the government anticipates from various sources, including the taxes and other income streams, and how these can help to gauge the financial resources available to meet budgetary demands. And lastly, to review the outlined government spending plans across different sectors, adjust where necessary to ensure that the budget remains realistic and achievable within the economic context, considering priorities and essential areas, and for the report to the House within 6 weeks for further legislative actions. I so move, Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Olufemi Ogunbanwo. I represent the financially prudent people of Ijebu-Ode, Odogbolu, Ijebu Northeast Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Kadijat. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on National Planning and Economic Development, Appropriation, and House Committee on Finance. Honorable colleagues, the first order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to introduce preventive measure and teaching of breast and cervical cancers into the curriculum of a compulsory subject, civic education, for senior secondary schools in Nigeria, and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 6th March 2024. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be read the third time. Leader, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Leader, please, can you take the first, the second, and the third at the same time? Just mention their HB numbers so that we can do them at the same time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable colleagues, Abdullah Ibrahim Halim is my name. I'm from Kogi State. I represent the good people of Ankpa, Omala, Lamboro Federal Constituency. I rise to move a motion that a bill number 1, HB 501, Bill number 2, HB 502, and Bill number 3, HB 550 be read. 1 and 2 be read third time, and the last number 3, HB 550 be read second time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you for the motion. Move, please. Minority Leader, can you second?
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, Kingsley Chinda, I rise to second the motion that HB 501 and HB 502 be read a third time. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to introduce preventive measures and teaching of breast and cervical cancers into the curriculum as a compulsory subject, civic education for senior secondary schools in Nigeria and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to introduce preventive measures and teaching of sexual gender-based violence into the curriculum as a compulsory subject, civil education for all secondary schools in Nigeria and for related matters. Third reading.
A bill for an act to introduce preventive measure and teaching of breast and cervical cancers into the curriculum of a compulsory subject, civic education for senior secondary schools in Nigeria and for related matters. HB 501, read and pass. A bill for an act to introduce preventive measures and teaching of sexual gender-based violence into the curriculum of a compulsory subject, civic education for all secondary schools in Nigeria and for related matters. HB 502, read and pass. Honorable colleagues, the third order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center, Al-Kaleri, Bauchi State, for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Kabiru Yusuf Al-Haji, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 10th day of October 2023, I now invite Honorable Ahaji to move that the bill be read the second time. Honorable, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Kabiru Yusuf Makama. I represent the good people of Alkaleri, Hill Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Bauchi State. I am standing here to move a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Center Act 2023 to establish Medical Center Alkaleri, Bauchi State, and for related matters, HB 550, be read at a second time. Thank you.
Any second time? Yes, sir. Not you.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Right Honorable Ambassador James Shaibu Barka. I second the motion ably moved by Honorable Kabiru Yusuf. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, it's an infrastructure establishment bill, right? So make it as brief as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, one against Honorable Kabiru Yusuf Makama. I representing Alkaleri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Bauchi State. The Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I seek your valued support to allow this bill to be read as a second time. Alkaleri is the capital of Alkaleri local government area of Bauchi State and is located about 75 kilometers far from the state capital, which hinders accessibility to medical facilities. The Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, from the above scenario, it is in the best interest of the people of Alkaleri Federal Constituency, given the size and the numbers of the people of Alkaleri Federal Constituency, to have a secondary healthcare facility. That is the Federal Medical Center Alkaleri. The Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, from the above scenario, it is in the best interest of the people of Alkaleri Federal Constituency, given the size and the numbers of the people within Alkaleri Federal Constituency, have a secondary healthcare facilities in the Federal Medical Center Alkaleri. The honorable members, honorable Speaker, this may be interest you to know that Alkaleri Federal Constituency does not enjoy the present and any government higher institution, whether state and federal, and therefore establish a medical center will go a long way to addressing some of the challenges of the area. The establishment of a medical center in Alkaleri town will grant the people of federal constituency access to medical facility easily, including the people in the village within outside of the federal constituency. The Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, based on the foregoing, I solicit your support and allow the bill be read as a second time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
Honorable colleagues, the question is that the bill be now read the second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk, read the long title of the bill.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center Alkaleri, Bauchi State, and for related matters. Second reading.
Honorable colleagues, the bill is referred to the Committee on Health Institutions. Most distinguished colleagues, the fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to establish gifted and talented center in Transekulu, Enugu State, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Paul Namche. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 27 February 2024, I now invite Honorable Namchi to move that the bill be now read the second time. Honorable Namchi, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Professor Paul Sunday Namchi. I represent the good people of Enugu East and issues of federal constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the bill for an act to establish gifted and talented center in Transikulu, Enugu State, and for related matters be read for the second time.
Any seconder to this? I want to go all the way back. The man with the red cap. Honorable colleague. Yes, you.
Thank you very much. You're right, Honorable the Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my names are Engineer Anaya Onwebu. I represent Nigeria through my constituency, Aneri Ojiriwa Federal Constituency. I'm from Enugu State, colleagues. I rise to second the reading of the bill for the second time as ably moved by my colleague. Mr. Speaker, I so second.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Namchi, please, you may now lead the debate.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. May everyone. My name is Honorable Professor Paul Sunday Namchi. I represent the good and enterprising people of Enugu East and issues of federal constituency of Enugu State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to lead debate on a bill for an act to establish the Gifted and Talented Education Center and for related matters in Transikulu, Enugu State. Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, my distinguished colleagues, I feel highly honored and privileged to lead the debate on the establishment of this bill at Transikulu. The essence of this bill stems from the pressing need for nurturing the talents and abilities of the gifted and talented children in the region and Nigeria at large. Mr. Speaker, as we deliberate on the future of education in our country, it is paramount that we recognize...
Mr. Speaker, point of order.
Minority Leader, what is your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. My point of order is hinged on Order 9, Rule 1, and I'm sure Prof knows that he's violating our rules. With your leave, I can read.
Please go ahead. Page what?
Page 59, Order 9, Rule 1.
Order 9, Rule 1, page 59, if you have your order book.
On rules of debate. A member shall not read his speech, save if he is moving a motion or presenting a bill. A member may, however, read short extracts from books or papers in support of his argument and may refresh his memory by reference to notes. Our dear colleague professor is reading copiously like a newscaster. That is not in line with our rules. Since he's taking his argument, he could refer to it and then make his argument. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Namchi, were you reading verbatim?
Not at all, but I can also go on without that. But not at all.
Your order is hereby sustained. I think he has agreed to drop the paper.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, the essence of this bill stems from the urgent need or the pressing need that the country is in dire need of such centers in various regions and in various states. Judging from the abundance of talent and gifted kids in the country who deserve a better future and a better directed education to give them the right background they needed. And every child deserves to have the right education, irrespective of his background, his creed, or his religion. Mr. Speaker, the objectives of this bill is to foster cultural integration, but also excellence in our education system, and also to train the leaders of tomorrow in our constituencies and in our various states. Nigeria needs these talented kids. Nigeria needs a directed education. Nigeria needs programs that will ensure that our tomorrow will be better than our today. Mr. Speaker, I can assure you that if this goes on and implemented, we are sure that we'll have people like Elon Musk coming from Nigeria as a result of these talented kids. These are people that their own education were directed properly, and they didn't actually go to the regular, the formal education, but they passed through certain centers, gifted centers.
Okay, round up.
Shall I go on? In conclusion, I would also say that establishing this center will afford the state and also my constituency the ability to attract professional individuals that will also benefit the state and also benefit enough employment, targeted employment that will also enrich the populace, not just in my state, but also in the region and Nigeria in general. I urge you, my colleagues, to support this bill for it to be read for the second time. For the obvious reason, it is actually not just for its moral thing, but for equity and its
it's okay.
merits.
It's okay.
I move, my sister.
Thank you very much. I think the minority leader was right. You speak better without the paper. And you made us understand what we are saying better without the paper. So sometimes the rule, they are there to bring out the best out of us. You know, and let me not say you did so well. It's the members that will say that. Any seconder to this? Oh, he's a professor. Okay, you're just telling me. Ajilo Soro, please. Yes. I like your suit. I think I'm seeing you wearing suit for the first time.
I'm a special boy today, sir.
That looks very good on you. Very good.
I want to be like you. His Excellency, Mr. Speaker, my leaders and fellow colleagues, my name is Honorable Taufik Abimbola Ajile Soro, a member representing Ife Federal Constituency in Osun State. I am from the source. I rise to second the bill as moved by my fellow colleagues. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to establish gifted and talented center in Trans-Ekulu, Enugu State and for related matters. Second reading.
The bill is referred to the Committee on Basic Education and Services. You have not greeted the people. Yeah, that's good. You have to say thank you. Nobody objected. We have a very important announcement. This is to inform all members of the House of Representatives with pending bills for publication in the National Assembly Journal to please avail the Clerk of the House of Representatives with soft copies of their bills to enable the bills processing unit expedite action on publication of all pending bills. So please send them the soft copies so that it will make their job easy and for your bills to come up quickly as well. Leader of the House, please move that we waive Order 8 Rule 1, which had to do with the arrangement of business of the day, to enable us to take an important issue from one of the constituencies that was impacted.
No give you. Deal with her. Everything you want to do with her.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I rise to move that Order 8 Rule 1 be suspended to enable us to take other important matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Minority Leader, please.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion that relevant rules of the House be suspended to enable us to take further matters of urgent importance. I so second.
Thank you. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Dr. Dingba, please, you want to address the House on a matter of urgent public importance. Make it brief, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for being very sensitive about this all-important issue. Mr. Speaker, I wish to inform this honorable House that on Sunday in my constituency, Bamangala Kalabalge, almost 300 young ladies were abducted while they were in search of firewood for domestic and commercial purposes in one village, Bulabulchi village, in the western part of Ngala town. Your Excellency, honorable colleagues, you may wish to note that these young ladies were looking for firewood to sustain livelihood, knowing fully that commercial activities...
Please raise our microphone. We want to hear her clearly.
Knowing fully that commercial activities in that part of the country is very minimal, and they have no option than to go into the bush to look for firewood for both commercial and domestic purposes. And these young girls and women were adopted while they are in search, and the Boko Haram surrounded them, unfortunately, in the bush and then carted them away into their den in the Lake Chad regions after freeing some few old women among them. You should also note, sir, honorable colleagues, that since the abduction of the 276 Chibok girls on 14th April 2014, this is one of the major abductions being done by Boko Haram. I wish to indulge on this honorable House to plead with the security agency, NEMA, and everybody that is concerned to come into the aid of these young ladies and then declare a state of emergency to search for these young girls as soon as possible, so that it will not take as long as it has taken the Chibok girls to be rescued. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We saw the passion with which you came on this issue, and we are, as a House, pained that these families are passing through what they are passing through now because of this adoption. And we wish to ask that by next week you bring it as a formal motion before the House for us to know specifically what your prayers are, to enable us know how to direct the resolution of the House. But we want to thank you for mentioning it, and in the spirit of the commemoration of the Women's Day that is coming tomorrow, we wish to ask that the security men go an extra mile to see how we'll get these young women who have been adopted back, and also those ones that have not been released since their adoption, that something is done about that. There is no better way to celebrate Women's Day within these coming days than ensuring that we work harder in bringing these women back to where they will make impact and contribute to the growth of their various families. So, Honorable Gimba, we send our messages of encouragement to the families in your constituency, and we'll urge you by next week to bring it as a formal motion. We gave you this opportunity to mention it before the House. Thank you very much. Honorable colleagues, the fifth order of the day is a motion on the deplorable state of Okwo Imerienwe, Umukwenu Eche, and Olakwo Umuneke Ngo Eziama Igirita Road, River State, standing in the name of Honorable Anthony Matthew Nwogo. Honorable Nwogo is invited to move the motion. Honorable Anthony is not in the house. Chairman, Rules and Business move that this House step this motion down.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. With the absence of Honorable Anthony Matthew Nwogo, I move that the motion be stepped down by leave of the House.
Motion is hereby stepped down by leave of the House. The sixth order of the day is a motion on acute water shortage in Feka and Ngelzama community of Feka Fune local government area, standing in the name of Honorable Muhammad Buba Jajere. Honorable Jajere is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Engineer Mohammed Buba Jajere. I represent the good people of Fika Fune Federal Constituency. I'm from Yobe State. I rise this morning to move a motion on an acute water shortage faced by my constituents in Fika and Genzarma towns located in Fika Fune Federal Constituency of Yobe State. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
You go ahead with your motion because it's a motion on notice.
The House notes that the population of the Fika and Genzarma towns, which are part of the Fika Fune Federal Constituency, are densely populated. Also notes that the topography of Fika town and part of Genzarma, which consists of mountainous terrain, has led to water scarcity, making life extremely difficult for inhabitants. Aware that the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG number 6, emphasize the importance of providing and managing clean water and sanitation for all, thus requiring government policies that ensure accessibility. We also observe that drastic measures must be implemented in collaboration with the local, state, and federal governments to address water scarcity in these towns and prevent the spread of diseases in these areas. The House resolves to 1. Urge the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to provide for boreholes, boosting stations, and reticulation distribution channels in Fika and Genzarma towns of Yobe State. 2. Also urge the Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, to participate in providing water to these towns and also to collaborate with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation in finding a lasting solution to these menace in both towns. Mandate the Committee on Water Resources and the Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, to monitor compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Jajere. Straightforward motion. Let me have my brother at the back behind Jajere. Yes, with the cap. No, not you, yes.
Not you. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I am Honorable Marcus Onobu. I represent the resplendent people of Esan West, Esan Central, and Igwebe Federal Constituency. I'm from Edo State. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I rise this morning to second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Water Resources and Northeast Development Commission. Most distinguished colleagues, the seventh order of the day is a motion on reconstruction of road linking Imo and Anambra State via Umuowa Junction or to Akwa Ihedi the Newi South local government area. Standing in the name of Honorable Kani Small, Chukwugozie Nwachukwu. Honorable Nwachukwu is invited to move the motion. Is he here? Chairman, Rules and Business, move that this bill be stepped down.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. In the absence of Honorable Kani Small, I move that the motion be stepped down by leave of the House.
Motion stepped down by the leave of the House. Most distinguished colleagues, the eighth order of the day is a motion on suspicious practices of the federal government ministries, department, agencies, parastatal and institutions in the execution of capital projects in the appropriation are standing in the name of Honorable Kelechi Nwogo. Honorable Nwogo is invited to move the motion.
The right, Honorable Speaker, I remain Honorable Kelechi Nwogo. Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm from Rivers State. I represent the people of Echie Omoma constituency. I have a motion of suspicious practice of the federal government ministries, department agencies, parastatals and institutions in the execution of capital projects in the Appropriation Acts. Right, Honorable Speaker, I wouldn't bore the House. I will go straight to one paragraph and I go straight to the prayers. Right, Honorable Speaker, we are alarmed that the National Assembly's powers as provided in Section 88 and 89 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended are being undermined by the actions of the federal government, ministries, departments and agencies, parastatals and institutions. Right, Honorable Speaker, we resolve as follows. Mandate the Committee on Financial Crimes and Intergovernmental Affairs to investigate the procurement of capital projects by all federal government ministries, department agencies, parastatals and institutions to recover the withheld sum from the execution and report back within 4 weeks. I so move.
Any seconder to this motion? Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Prince Alaide Latif Mohammed. I represent the good people of Irepo, Orolepe, Oloronsogo Federal Constituency. I'm from the Peseta State, Oyo State. I rise this morning to second this motion as ably moved by my colleagues. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Motion is referred to the Committee on Financial Crime, Public Service Matters, and Public Procurement. The ninth order of the day is a motion on a call for deployment of additional security personnel to Kauru local government area, standing in the name of Honorable Mukhtar Zachary Chawai. Honorable Chawai is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Mukhtar Zachary Chawai. I represent Kauru Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. I rise to move a motion on a call for deployment of additional security personnel to Kauru local government area. The House notes the presence and the remarkable efforts of military personnel, Operation Safe Haven, currently stationed at Chawai in the local government. It also notes the high rate of insecurity in Kumana Chiefdom and Kaure Emirate, ranging from banditry, terrorism, and kidnapping. Observes that the insecurity in Kumana Chiefdom and Kaure Emirate has escalated, necessitating the swift deployment of additional personnel from Operation Safe Haven to address these issues. Aware that the host communities' vigilantes are willing to collaborate with security officers in curbing the security situation in these locations. The House recognizes that a detachment of these personnel to locations in Kumana Chiefdom and Kaure Emirate can aid in providing security to the troubled areas of Geshari, Bital, Kwasam, Dokankarji, Kunkurai, and other areas within the radius. Resolves to urge the Chief of Defense Staff to direct the deployment of personnel to these locations in Kumana Chiefdom and Kauri Emirate, and also mandate the Committee on Defense to ensure compliance. I so move.
Thank you very much. Let's have, please, second it. Right Honorable. Bamishile.
Good morning again, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Boma, nice to see you.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Femi Bamishile, representing the very good people of Emure, Moyi, and Ekiti East. From Ekiti State, the citadel of understanding, I rise to second the motion as moved by my honorable colleague, I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Motion is referred to Committee on Defense. Honorable colleagues, the 10th order of the day is a motion on alleged non-remittance and under-remittance of tax by ministries, departments, and agencies of government, oil companies, and other organizations standing in the name of Honorable Esosa Iyawe. Honorable Iyawe is invited to move the motion.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. I am Honorable Esosa Iyawe. I represent the vibrant people of Oredo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move a motion on the alleged non-remittance and under-remittance of tax by ministries, departments, and agencies of the government, oil and gas companies, and other organizations. Mr. Speaker, the House notes that taxation is a veritable tool used by governments to regulate economic and commercial activities and ensure availability of funds for sustainable national development. Mr. Speaker, the House also notes that the FRS, for the core purpose of assessing, collection, and remitting and accounting for federation's taxes, Service Act 2004 established. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, the House also knows that the Federal Revenue Service Act 2004 established the FRS for the core purpose of assessing, collecting, and remitting Federation's taxes. The House is concerned that in 2021, during an interactive session with a committee in the National Assembly, the FRS revealed that the sum of 17,690,341,565 naira was being owed in tax by some companies whose addresses could not be traced. Until date, nothing has been done to locate the companies or recover the funds. Mr. Speaker, the House is also concerned about audit reports for the years 2015, 2016, 17, 18, and 19, which indicted some government agencies for owing hundreds of billions in FRS taxes, comprising underpayments and under-recoveries, while another report alleged that over 5,000 companies and individuals spread across ministries, departments, and agencies of the federal government were owing the sum of 5,200 billion naira in withholding taxes. Mr. Speaker, the House is disturbed that under remittance and non-remittance of taxes deprived the federal government of much-needed funds to drive its policies in the national development, and in this situation is not urgently addressed, the effects could cripple the country's already dwindling economy. Mr. Speaker, the House is worried that while small-scale businesses in Nigeria are frustrated by multiple taxation by the FRS, states and local government agencies, multinational companies and other corporate organizations are getting the kid glove treatments. Mr. Speaker, the House resolves to urge the Federal Labor and Revenue to, as a matter of urgency, embark
on the immediate recovery of all tax owed to the federal government by ministries, departments and agencies, oil companies, and as well as other corporate organizations and individuals. Mr. Speaker, the House mandates the Committee on Public Accounts and the Committee on Finance to investigate the non-compliance on tax remittance by ministries, departments and agencies of governments, oil and gas companies and other organizations, with a view to ensure that all debts in taxes owed the federal government are duly recovered. Mr. Speaker, I so move. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm Hussaini Mohammed Jallo, representing Igebe Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. Hereby second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Public Accounts and Finance. The 11th order of the day is a motion on need to investigate 200 billion naira spent on the suspended 2023 population and housing census, standing in the name of Honorable Clement Akane. Honorable Kane is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable members, my name is Akoni Clement Ademola. I represent Ila, Oluwaduro, and the Federal Constituency of Osun State. I rise this afternoon to raise a motion on the need to investigate 200 billion naira spent on suspended 2023 population and housing census. The House notes that census is a process of systematically collecting, compiling, and analyzing demographic, social, and economic data of a population within a specific region. Also notes that census are conducted by government to gather accurate and comprehensive information such as age, sex, marital status, education, occupation, housing, and other relevant demographic and socio-economic characteristics of a country. The House further notes that data collected are used for a wide range of purposes, including policy making, resource allocation, urban planning, public health, education, and more. Aware that the last census that was conducted in 2006 by the National Population Commission gave a population figure of 140 million. Also aware that the immediate past administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari planned to conduct another census in 2022, but the program was later postponed to 2023. Recalls that earlier in March 2023, the former Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Clem Agba, said a total of 869 billion will be required for the exercise, and this figure, according to the minister, includes post-census activities. Also recalls that the National Population Commission says it has spent about 200 billion to prepare for the 2023 population and housing census. Recall that the National Population Census says it has spent 200 billion for the 2023 population and housing census. Disturbed that the exercise was, however, suspended indefinitely by former President Muhammadu Buhari a few days before leaving office, and concerned that the need to provide the nation with accurate and reliable demographic data for policy formulation and planning for sustainable development could not be overemphasized. The House therefore resolved to mandate the Committee on Population to invite the Director General of the National Population Commission to explain details of how the 200 billion meant for the suspended 2023 population and housing census was spent, and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I so moved, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Lalo, second. I've seen you, my deputy chairman, before. I know you are there. But let's allow Lalo. He has not spoken in this house for quite a while now.
Mr. Speaker,
and as the deputy chairman,
I hope Honorable Lalu is well protected. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Ishaya David Lalu, member representing the good and hospitable people of Mangu Bokos Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Plateau State, the home of peace and tourism. I rise to second the wonderful motion moved by our honorable colleague on the issue of population census. Mr. Speaker, I so second. Thank you.
Before I ask the question, the issue of census is a very important one. We would like to have people who are willing to speak on it, two from here, two from there. If anybody wants to speak on this, if not, so we'll put the question. But I think the motion also is straight to the point. So I'll put the question. Before the amendment, can I hear Manusoro, Honorable?
That I have.
Amendment?
Yes.
Okay. Let your leader amend first before you. Okay. Leader, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, I wish to amend the sole prayer by deleting line 1 from invite the Director General of the National Population Commission to explain how, and replace that with investigate the use and management of. The prayer will then read thus: mandate the Committee on Population to investigate the use and management of the 200 billion meant for suspended 2023 population and housing census and report back to the House within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, sir.
Any seconder to this motion? Honorable Boma want to second this motion. Oh, she has left. Leader, please second the motion.
I have an objection to your mentioning of Boma to second that motion.
On behalf of Boma? Okay.
Leader, am I in order? On behalf of Boma?
Yes, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I am Abdullah Ibrahim Halims from Kogi State. I represent Ankpa Omala Lamboro Federal Constituency. I rise to second the amendment as moved by the minority leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Another amendment, Manusoro, you have an amendment.
Honorable Speaker, my amendment has been overtaken by the minority.
That is very good, very good, very good, very commendable. No other amendment. In the absence of any other amendment, let me put the question. Those in support of the motion as amended say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to Committee on Population. The 12th and the final order of the day is a motion on the need to incorporate security education as core subject in Nigeria primary and secondary school curriculum. Standing in the name of Honorable Omirin Emmanuel Olusayo. Honorable Olusayo is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My distinguished honorable colleagues, Omirin Emmanuel Olusayo is my name, representing the good people of Atakumosa East, Atakumosa West, Ilesha East, and Ilesha West Federal Constituency. I'm from the state of the living spring, Oshun. Mr. Speaker, and my honorable colleagues, I rise this afternoon to move a motion on the need to incorporate security education as a core subject in Nigeria's primary and secondary school curriculum. The House notes that security education is crucial for fostering knowledge and preparedness, enabling individuals to understand potential threats and take appropriate measures.
Honorable Flatter, approach the chair, please. Honorable Flatter.
And their assets.
Honorable Flatter, approach the chair.
The House also notes that security education equips students with the necessary skill to direct the various contemporary security challenges, including economic, political, social, and environmental threats. Aware of the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, report that since 2018, over 30 schools have been attacked, resulting in at least 2,295 teachers deaths, and over 1,000 child abductions. They are also worried about the recurrent attacks and threats against Nigeria educational institutions. Teachers and pupils are causing a negative impact on educational qualities. Teachers turnover and perpetuating a culture of impunity. They are also aware that due to escalating insecurity in the country, it has become imperative for children to learn defense mechanisms, master first aid principles, and emergency handling skills. Cognizant that in an increasing volatile society like Nigeria, investing in security education is essential to safeguard student knowledge, skills, and awareness in security education, empower them to take preventive actions. The House resolved to 1. Urge the Federal Ministry of Education to ensure that security education is incorporated as a core subject in the primary and secondary school curriculum. And 2, Mr. Speaker, mandate the Committee on Basic Education and Service to ensure implementation. I so moved, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Omirin Emmanuel Olusayo. Any seconder to this motion? Tolles.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Architect Usman Murshala Banye, member representing people of Batagarawa, Chirimi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Katsina State. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my honorable colleague. Mr. Speaker, I so second.
Thank you very much. Amendment? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our very speaking speaker, the man in whom we are well pleased. My name is Honorable Chief Mitema.
All those one for me. That's very nice.
All for you, sir. All for you. Mr. Speaker, all for you,
welcome.
Sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. I speak for and on behalf of the people of Ogbia Federal Constituency. I'm from Bayelsa State, Mr. Speaker. My amendment borders on the age bracket of the pupils in the primary school. I'm of the opinion that security being a very crucial and sensitive matter, we should allow it remain in the secondary school. Because within that age bracket of those in the primary school, I doubt if they will really understand the subject matter. I doubt if they can assimilate. The motion to me is a very good one, sound one, but let's expunge the primary school and allow it remain with the secondary school upward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to this motion? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name remains Afolabi Afwakwe. I'm from Abuja, represent Abuja Federal Constituency of Ogun State. I
hereby support the amendment as ably moved by my colleagues. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it. They are saying that it should start from primary school so that gradually it will be integrated in their subconscious. Any other amendment to that? I think we are fine. Those in support of the motion as amended say aye. But it was not amended. You just said aye. It was not amended. Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to the Committee on Basic Education and Services. Honorable Fulata, you have something to say? Oh, yes, please, leader.
Your Excellency, my respected colleagues, I remain Honorable Ado Dogwa. Mr. Speaker, I represent the good people of Tudunwada Dogwa Federal Constituency in Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I would like to very unusually crave your indulgence and that of the House, that in the light of the fact that we have a very light order paper today and we're about rounding up, and on a serious note of the weighty nature of the information passed on the floor here by our honorable colleague, Sister Zainab Gimba, which of course involved the liberty of over 350 young men and women, like she said. So I would like to crave your indulgence and the leave of the House, if you could allow Mariam Gimba to quickly go beyond just the passage of information on the floor of the House. The matter, I feel, is too important to just be mentioned without necessarily taking a legislative pronouncement immediately. So I want to crave your indulgence. I have discussed with her that she is ready and she has the motion on her what do you call it, on her system. If the House could allow her, bearing in mind the tragic nature of what actually happened and the sensitivity of the matter she brought, to allow her pick it as a motion, so that at the end the House could take a position and is now resolved as a pronouncement of this honorable House, not just an information like she just passed. So I so plead with the House to allow that, please.
Thank you. You know that the House hardly waives 8 of our rules, hardly, because the order of business of the day, once it is out there, we'll usually follow it strictly. But because we saw that she flew into the country because of what just happened, and she came here in tears, and the compassion and the passion for her constituent, we decided to do what was not, ordinary to this House by waiving 8. But because she was also emotional, she did not present it as a motion, with a space for us to move a resolution, to have a resolution from the House. And that was why we asked her to bring it next week. But based on your plea, does she have the copy of the motion? Can I see a copy?
Yes, I guess she has one.
Necessary prayers?
I guess she should have one with her now.
Can I have a copy, please? Based on your plea and the urgency of this matter and its importance, we will, by the leave of the House, allow her to present this motion. Honorable Gimba,
thank
please.
you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honorable colleagues. I am Honorable Dr. Zainab Gimba. I represent Bamanga Lakala Belbe Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Borno State. Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Mr. Speaker.
Just go straight to the motion, move.
I wish to move for the suspension. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since my senior colleague, Honorable Dogwa, has made that suspension, I would like to move on with the motion. Mr. Speaker, the motion is abduction of dozens of women and children in IDP camps in Gala, Borno State. The House knows the recent abduction of dozens of women and children in Gala, Borno State by the Boko Haram insurgents. Also knows that the abduction took place last Sunday the 3rd when the women went to fetch firewood in the bush for domestic and commercial purposes. Further knows that while the women were fetching the firewood, they were surrounded by the insurgents in Bulabulchie village in the western part of Ngala town. Again knows that the insurgents freed the old age but abducted about or almost 300 evil young girls and boys. Aware that most of the abducted women were from Babban Sansani and some from Zulum and Arabic camps. Worried that lack of enough food in the camps
Honorable Madaki, approach the chair.
has forced
Honorable
women
Allegiance,
to go
approach the
in
chair.
search of firewood to sell so as to complement the food being given to them
Honorable
in the
Madaki,
camps
approach the chair.
by the state government and some other development partners. Note that 3 girls escaped from the den of the insurgents reported that they were taken to a bush close to Bunkar Mairam village along the shores of the Lake Chad, bordering the Republic of Chad and Cameroon. Also worried that the women were made to search for firewood for sale in view of the cost of living in the camps, where a small measure of corn flour is sold at 2,200 to 2,500, and this has made life very unbearable to them. Recalls that this is one of the major abductions that took place in Borno State since the abduction of the 276 girls of Gaman Girls Secondary School Chibok on the night of the 14th April in 2014. Resolves to urge the security personnel deployed to the camps to intensify vigilance in and around the camps. The House also resolves to task all security agencies to rescue all abducted victims. It further urged the NEMA to take necessary measures to ensure that residents of the camps are adequately fed. And equally mandates the committees on emergency and disaster preparedness and internally displaced persons and refugees to ensure compliance. Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't see where your prayer says for the security agencies to move in to rescue, to intensify effort to rescue the people that are adopted.
Yeah, it is here.
Is it one of the prayers, or somebody want to make an amendment to that? Because to me, that is more important than NEMA
I've said
and all the rest of them. I want to get those girls back.
It is here, sir. I've made mention of it.
Prayer number what?
I made it at prayer number 1 to task all security agencies to rescue all abducted victims. Let me give you the amended.
I'm not seeing it in the one I have here. Okay, it's your prayer number 4. Tax all security agencies to rescue all adopted victims. Take. Any seconder to this motion?
This guy is helping me.
It's a good man sometimes.
This is your committee.
Each time we'll turn it down. Yes, signature and date.
Any seconder to this motion?
Okay.
Honorable Namraba. Second.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Abubakar Hassan Araba.
Let me also mention that we had rescinded the first resolution of the House on for her to publish it on notice in the coming week. So let it be noted by the clerk at the table that the first resolution is been rescinded, so that this one can go. Whatever we resolve on this one will go. Remember, we said that she should present it next week, but because we have waived our rules, because of the importance of this, we have stepped down the other resolution so that this can fly. Honorable, please, second, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Abubakar Hassan Nelaraba. I represent the good people of Awedo Makiana Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Nasarawa State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my dear colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this very passionate motion, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. We urge our security agencies to ensure that these girls who have been adopted, that is causing a lot of tears in the house, that they will not face the same fate with those who were adopted a while ago. Teaching time saves 9. Let us start now to work hard to make sure they don't take them too far before bringing them back becomes difficult. Please, we encourage the security officers who are doing a lot to step up their game to make sure these our sisters and daughters are rescued soonest. This motion is referred to Committee on Defense and also Committee on NEMA. Yeah, that is Emergency Disaster Preparedness and Internally Displaced Persons. Leader, please move that this House do adjourn to tomorrow, to Tuesday, same time, same place.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. Once again, Abdullah Ibrahim Halims is my name. I am from Kogi State. I represent the good people of Ankpa, Omala, Olawamboro Federal Constituency.
Minority Leader.
I hereby move that the House do adjourn to 12th day of March, Tuesday, 11 o'clock, same venue. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minority Leader, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the House do adjourn to Tuesday next week, same time. I so second.
Let me say thank you very much for working so hard this week, and we are closing early to enable you engage with your community committee works, as well as travel home to be with your constituency to engage. Remember to talk to them about constitution review, get their feedback. Remember to interact with them to know how the economic situation of the country is impacting on them. Let's see what we can do to make their lives better. Those in support of this motion that we adjourn to Tuesday, 12th of March, say aye. Those against, say nay. I'll ask again. Those who are the House do adjourn to Tuesday, 12th March, say aye. Those against, say nay. I see many nays will stay and the ayes will go. The House is hereby adjourned to Tuesday, 12th of March, 2024.
I'll collect it from you. You don't write the time? Yes.
Right, the House of Representatives has just adjourned its plenary for the day. In the course of today's plenary, a very passionate motion was raised by Honorable Zainab Gimba from Borno State, where she brought to the attention of the House the reported abduction of about 300 women and children in Ngala local government area of Borno State. And as a result, the House has urged the security agencies to go the extra mile to ensure that these women and children who have been abducted are safely rescued and returned to their base. And I have with me Honorable Isiaka Ibrahim, who will speak to this motion that was adopted by the House today. Honorable Ibrahim, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Let us into this motion that came on the floor of the House concerning the reported abduction of women and children in Borno State. Can you fill us in on what transpired on the floor of the House?
With empathy, because these are children, and another sad day moment for us in these hallowed chambers. We thought we were a bit getting out of it, but unfortunately, you saw Honorable Jimbao. She walked in a somber mood, practically crying, and we had to suspend our rules to take our motion as a matter of urgent public importance, because these are our children. What can we say? Only to see if there is any channel to appeal to these are brothers, as we call them, our brothers. Whether they are Nigerians, whether they are not Nigerians, whether they are from here or they are not from here. Nobody was ever born a criminal. It is the society. So we are appealing to them, we are begging them on compassionate ground to feel that sympathy, that empathy about the parents, the relations of all these women and the girls. The trauma from both sides. The girls, the abducted girls, and the parents' relations, even we, sympathizers. We are using the name of Almighty Allah, Subhanallah Ta'ala, to appeal to them, to please, equally me on my knees, prostrating, begging them to please provide succor by releasing these innocent girls and women and let them go back to their family members. We are just appealing, and we are tasking as well all stakeholders to see how we can put this behind us.
Okay. Also on the floor of the House today, there was a motion of urgent public importance that was adopted with respect of on the need to evaluate the implications of the current exchange rate of the 2024 national budget implementation to ensure a balanced budget and increase in the standard of living. What exactly is this motion all about, and what does it seek to achieve?
It's simple, and I can just summarize it to say we're trying to seek equilibrium in between the budget as passed, the Appropriation Act, and the recent fluctuations in the forex exchange. Okay, not only dollars, pound sterling, especially goods and services that are dependent on foreign exchange. There is already an imbalance. I'm making the implementation and of the 2024 budget definitely is affecting it already. And you cannot make any adjustment without recourse to the National Assembly. So this motion practically, which of course whatever the report is going to be at the end of the day, it will still be, there is still going to be concurrence or a kind of alignment with the Senate. And during the course, of course, the responsible committees will still recourse even to the executive, the budget ministry, the finance ministry, and all revenue generating agencies, so that we now find equilibrium in between the current exchange rate and what was used. Don't forget, as when the budget was passed, 800 naira to $1 was used, and today it hovers around 1,000, between 1,400 to 1,500. Yes, it's equivalent will transcend to the oil too, the production and the sales, but we still need to look at the balances and see how the Nigerians, especially as well, the security agencies, it's part of what we want to see, how to show up, because many of the hardwares they are using, don't forget, they are foreign and they are dollar dominated. So that's why we are seeking this equilibrium.
Okay, thank you, Honorable. We have just around the set, Honorable Zainab Gimba. Honorable, many thanks for coming on the program from National Assembly on NTA.
Thank you.
Now, what exactly happened in Ngala local government area in Borno State? What exactly happened? Nigerians want to know as someone from that federal constituency.
Yes, actually what happened was that on the 3rd of March, that was on Sunday, dozens of young men and women left the IDP camps. We have about 3 IDP camps in Ngala, and then usually they gathered themselves to go in search of firewood in the bush. So on that fateful day they left, and while they were in one village in Bulabultre, just at the western part of Ngala town, the insurgents surrounded them and carted away with almost getting to 300 young men and women into the bush, took them to their den, and then eventually they freed some of the aged ones among them, and while they were kept in the den, 3 of the girls, escaped while the insurgents were sleeping, and then they now come with the news that the remaining ones have already been taken to some undisclosed places or known places, I can say, in the shores of the Lake Chad. And these young men and women usually go to the bush to look for firewood for domestic and commercial purposes. You will agree with me that looking at the food crisis, for those even living within the cities and the town, what is happening, it is very necessary for those to get something to at least supplement what the state government is doing. You have seen the efforts being made by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, by distributing palliatives to almost each and every household in all the IDP camps, not only in my constituency but across the state. But that is not enough. He cannot feed everybody. He cannot feed everybody in the state. So people have to look for something to supplement, and that is why they go out looking, finding a way of livelihood. So I'm just calling on the federal government to look into, because this is not far away from the food crisis. It is something that it is a time bomb in itself. When you see more than 300 dozens people, young men and women going into the bush just looking for firewood, because for decades the farming activities has been suspended due to the activities of these insurgents in the area. And though it is relatively getting better, but you could see that the food security has overwhelmed not only the IDP camps, not only the state, but the country at large. Okay. And it is not far away from that. So I'm urging the federal government to look into this issue of food security, especially in the IDP camps. Because
briefly, if I will ask, is there proper profiling of those who have been abducted in terms of whether they are all women or they are all children, or whether they are men and children among them? What is the profiling like?
They are young men and children, young girls, and mostly the aged one amongst them have been freed. So eventually the security agencies found out that they went actually on a rescue mission, but they were very far away and none could be rescued till then. So what I'm urging the state government, the federal government to do is to look at the issue of this security. I'm also urging the security agencies across the state to intensify their search to ensure that these victims are being rescued timely, because if you look at the trauma the families are in, I think it is something that is very urgent. That's why the House, after conducting all the activities on the business, after conducting the business of the House, now felt that it is very important, looking at the weight it is carrying, it is very important that they have to suspend all the rules, and then for me to come up with this motion.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Indeed, in the course of plenary today, the House had to suspend all its rules to be able to entertain that motion of urgent public importance from Representative Zainab Gimba from Borno State. And the House has adjourned till Tuesday, and on our live telecast today, we are also adjourning. We thank you so much for joining and staying with NTA's live telecast of proceedings from the National Assembly, House of Representatives. On behalf of NTA's outside broadcast crew, my name is Mitaire Ikben, and we say thank you for watching. Do join us again as we now hand you over to our studio for a continuation of our program schedule for the day. Thank you.